Welcome back to AI War Fleet Command, everybody. A little bit of an update on what we've got since the last time around. We were not able to stop them in Typhon by the time we were on. We got part of the way there and the command station already been destroyed. So I waited to see where they'd go next. They eventually tied a trickle into Ouija Man. I sent the fleet in there, but the fleet actually wasn't needed. We'd weakened them enough that we were able to stop that, even without using warheads. Okay, so then we started rebuilding. And that took longer than I thought. We're just almost finished rebuilding now, but the second EXO has already been generated. That's sort of an indicator that the whole attrition thing that we're going to go through here, I don't know that we've got enough time. I don't think we do to bear them down. But on the other hand, there is the theory that any problem in the universe can be settled with the proper application of a sufficient amount of high explosives, and we're certainly going to be testing that because there's going to be lots of warheads. Now, the current EXO is right in here. It's in Chiron, it's heading to Mustafar, and I'm assuming that what they're going to do is head into Papagena. And it just so happens that's where my fleet is, so we're there waiting for them, most of us. There's just a couple starships finishing up building in Radislava, and the transport that has most of them in is heading in here. So if we can deal with this relatively efficiently, and that is a big if, then we can start working on rebuilding some of our systems and cycling back towards eventually hitting Coruscant again. And here we go. Oh. Doesn't look like they want to come this way. Looks like they just want to route through Letitia and head to our homeworld. So we better prepare for that instead. Alright, here we go. Now, what starships I have are right over here. Let me just slide these over a bit, because this is the direction we're coming in. And they're going to try to pound through in here. We've got, obviously, warheads if we need them. They've got translocators, which are not the worst of the Spire craft, in my opinion. Of course, they do carry a good amount of health, but the fleet is split up behind them, or the EXO is split up behind them. Then we've got our main fleet coming in behind, and it's sort of between a couple of groups of this. So I'm feeling decent. I'd like to be here totally ahead of them, but I'm feeling decent about our odds of holding this off. There goes one translocator. Goodbye. With our Dysons. Oh, why is he going this way? There's only Mark 1 translocators. Well, that's not gonna lie. Oh yeah, those engineers are all dead. Fine. Bunch of snipers. Okay. But yeah, this first part of it's going down, I think, relatively easily. And they're going to have the second half of this EXO behind it. Well, roughly half. I don't know if it's going to be half. It's two parts, in any case. There we go. And let's help out with these snipers. That's a beautiful thing. Bring this all back in here. There we go. They've pounded down a bunch of stuff here, but now they're gone. Beautiful. And then we're going to get the rest of this coming in. There we go. They've got starships galore, you can see. Riot control. How you be there. But then our shields, there they go. Shields going back up, and that's big. And our flak turrets and everything can have their desired effect. Heavy beam cannons opening up. They've got a good amount of starships here, but this is not going to cause us too much of a problem. And optimally, I would prefer to fight their EXOs in Radislava anyway. Yeah, okay, fighting them in your homeworld, alright, but the salvage we're going to get, well worth it in my opinion. Some plasma sieges here floating by. See, how is our metal doing? Yeah, I mean, look at the metal we're acquiring here. Yeah, 4+ million at a 40% rate. Okay, so that's that. And really, I'm pretty happy about this situation here now, because we're going to have our fleet's basically totally rebuilt now, I think. Yeah. We were just literally doing the last ship, the last riot control, when I started this off. So our fleet's totally rebuilt. Just got to organize it and everything. We've pounded off that exo. Now, we took a few minutes off the clock. That's natural. We got to find this hybrid. We got to rebuild some systems. But we can finally start working our way towards Coruscant, at least, for the first time in quite a while. Welcome to Uranus. This is our third stop on the rebuilding tour. We've got over 15 minutes left. Now, Typhon, we actually had trouble getting there in time. They actually wasted some metal because we couldn't get there and start building quite fast enough. Then we moved on to MJ-12, then worked our way up Pretoria, and now we're in Uranus, where most of the enemy threat that remaining is here. Not that great a numbers. We see we got like 70 Zenith reprocessors. We've got a couple, shadow frigates. So this is going to be a little bit interesting. And I'm just going to kind of float off this way and do our usual deal here, because that's a significant amount of reprocessors. Come on, chase me. There you go. And so I need to clean this out before I can rebuild in here. And it looks like they are hemming and hawing on whether they actually want to chase. But the thing about it is, I think I've got my decloakers out, unless they've been destroyed. No, they're still here. So I can see them just fine, whether they are going to come after me or not. And there goes a shadow frigate. So this all going quite well. Partly because of their indecision, I didn't lose much. Yeah, let's... Look, you either leave the system or you die. Your choice. Pick one. Ah, there's another shadow frigate. Okay. We'll take care of you too. Another one. Are they just spawning in here? Why would they be spawning in neutral territory? Nope, I think that's it. Okay, so in one of my transports I have a rebuilder, along with a couple colony ships that I actually don't need. We'll come down here, and then once we get the colony up and running, we'll build more rebuilders. You know what? We don't need the colony ships. Let's eliminate those. You can see we're maxed out on metal again here, so I want to get this rolling as soon as possible. And then it was time to set up the Neptune beachhead again. Oh my goodness, I've done this so many times. And of course they flooded us with some special forces and a few shadow frigates right away. And then we're sitting here waiting for the real, attack to begin while we build up everything. And the old builder died. That's not good. So I'll need to bring a new one of those in. But I think I've actually got everything up in here. Let's see. Yeah, heavy beam cannons are back up. So I don't need to be too concerned about that immediately. What I need to be concerned about is all... Yep, there we go. Brand new joy. And of course, we're ticking down here. So I'm down to... less than 8 minutes. I've got to try to repel this and then get in position to deal with the next exo, which is going to be even bigger. And it can't be that long until a standard CPA shows up, and the wheel keeps on turning. And they're still coming in. Overall, doesn't seem so far, at least, to be as big as the last one, but we'll see. Maybe we got in here soon enough to not let them build up quite as high. Oh, about 200 of these, so maybe it is just as... Yeah, okay, it's about as big. Meanwhile, we have a Pretoria counter wave, a reprisal wave. course, we're killing our power. But in here, yeah, I mean, none of that is going to cause a huge problem. So Neptune's where the big action is. Down to 130 Zenith 3 processors. How are they on the... Yeah, okay, 29 or 30 of the riot control. So they're pressing in on us, but it's the usual deal. We've got enough to hold them, but not by much. Okay, and now our beachhead should be able to start wearing them down. Before too much longer, I should be able to get the fleet out and get it in position. Well, most of it. I need to keep some of it in here so that the special forces keep trickling in. But I want to get the fleet in position soon to deal with the next exo. Let's see, where are we at on metal? Yeah, we've used up about 2/3 of it with the rebuilding in here, and then the rebuilding of ships that we've lost since we came in here. But now, yeah, once it gets down to under 200, it seems to just slowly trickle down as the turrets fire and fire and fire and fire. So it took basically 2 full cycles for us to recover. And let's just say that we're going to be in trouble if it continually takes that long. But I do think that we can handle the next exo. The last one wasn't as tough on us as I thought it would be. So, I mean, I don't feel we're like in imminent danger. It's just that at some point here, we got to start making significant progress. So, here's the third exo, and it results in a bit of a different plan being required because there's golems involved. Now, first we've just got starships coming into Radislava. That's the first part. But because there's some powerful golems coming, I need to meet it at the wormhole. So I've got the 2, modular fortresses coming out this way. They're not quite here yet. And then I've got all of my ships out here as well. And there's a bunch of bomber starships. No big deal. Okay, here's some more stuff coming in. Bingo. Okay, now here's the big thing. The cursed golem. And of course, you remember the curse and the artillery golem have ridiculous firepower. They'll lay waste to our static defenders from range if we allow them. Now, see, we've got also a bit of a thing coming in here the other direction, but we don't care about that. All that matters here is this. And I'm going to focus fire on the cursed golem. And let's see how that works out for us. Because we're going to try to take that down as quick as we can. There we go. Now let's head back. Just try to defend from a more standard position. Sorry about the volume there. I had the game volume up too high. That should be a little better. And it looks like we're going to handle this. Yeah, that's just a standard siege tower. I'm not too worried about that. We'll take that down. And we've got an implosion guardian. That'll go away. Okay, so this is all done. Now that's the first half. It's not the whole thing, it's the first half. But at least I can try to start rebuilding some. We still got a good amount of metal. Rebuild what I can, and then whatever we're able to do with that, we'll regroup and try to meet part 2. And it didn't take long for it to start to show up here. They smashed Papagena, so I built a matter converter to keep our energy afloat. And I think the rest of them are coming here next. And I'm heading back out here because they've got an artillery golem coming with them. So I've got to be able to meet them. Now, fortunately, they're pretty far apart. We'll just nail these starships as they come through. And, of course, the fortress is going to do a great job at helping out with that. There's some spire in there, but I can't worry about that. I've got to worry about the artillery golem when it shows up. That's the only thing that really exists in terms of the threat here. And yeah, the heavy beam cannons tapping that stuff down. Here comes some more. Okay, just a couple of plasma sieges. That's not a problem. And the rest of it's taking its time. And here's the interesting part to me. We've got a massive, actually, metal surplus. I'm going to need armored warheads eventually to take care of the golems. But the problem I have in here is I actually don't have enough engineers. So I've got a lot of ships to rebuild. I don't have enough engineers to keep up. Yeah, let's put out 10 more of each. And of course, the reason I don't have enough engineers to keep up is because look at the amount of, I'm getting all this scrap. So let's just, the main thing I'm looking to do here is just use all the metal while I wait for the next half of the exo to come in. There we go. And now we're actually, yeah, just barely over keeping up with it. So that's great. Let's take out this first. Obviously, this is a bigger problem. Come on, let me select it. There it is. Artillery golem. Artillery golem must die. We don't care about anything else. Artillery golem must die. And we're just going to hope it didn't get off enough shots. Let's go head back. Modular command stations, you head back. So we're okay with this. We've got plenty of metal. Let's take a look at what actually they have in here, though. They've got a decent amount of stuff. They've got an armored golem, which would not be a lot of fun. But I think once we got the fleet back here in force, we could knock them out. Okay, so what do I do going forward? Well, obviously, this is going to become more and more of a problem. I do think that I'm going to need armored warheads to defend against them. And the problem that I'm going to have is, do I have the metal to build armored warheads and deal with all this other stuff? And I've got, I'm going at maximum rate now with my engineers. Let me see how much I still have. I may even pull some engineers from some other systems just to max this out, because as soon as we get the fleet rebuilt, and, okay, we still got quite a bit to go. We lost almost all of our fleet ships. But as soon as we get that rebuilt, if I still have a metal surplus, I'll shove it into armored warheads. The thing is, these are just going to keep cycling up and up. But I should have at least one run here at getting into Coruscant before this timer goes off. Based on how well that goes and what type of an attack group I can formulate, we're going to see whether or not it's really viable for me to take it down. My gut feeling is this is turning against us and we're going to be in some serious trouble. But the bottom line is it's not over yet. We're still alive. We're still fighting. So the Battle for Coruscant will continue next time. Till then, thanks for watching. AI War Fleet Command will continue at least one more episode.